up his information, his image. That is our friend Bruno. Let's sign Bruno. Here you are. Okay, Bruno, let's send you an invite to join us. Bruno Giraldi. And Bruno, for those who didn't catch some of the details on the... Bruno!
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, I'm good.
All right. So, Bruno, you, if people didn't see your information on some of the press materials or some of the promotional social media things that went out, Bruno is an actor from Argentina, and you recently came to New York, right?
I've been here for 3 years already.
3 years. Okay. So what made you leave Argentina and head over to New York to join us over here in the Big Apple?
I always had this fantasy that here there was more quality in theater than in Argentina. You know that Buenos Aires, that is the capital of Argentina, is the place that has more theaters, even more than Broadway, but not so much quality. Here you have this is the second city where you have theaters the most, but you have more quality. So I sometimes I was frustrated when I was in some productions there. Because I wanted to do some work or to work in a certain way that maybe was not understood. However, when I arrived here, I found out that that is true to a certain extent, you know. But well, that is my experience so far. Maybe right. I have, and I have gotten to places where, yeah, I have done what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. You know, it's. As you say, I've grown up in New York. I've been in New York pretty much my whole life, and you have this perception when you first get into the New York area or the New York theater world or whatever, that it's everything. Every theater that you go to is Broadway caliber, and it's like the best of the best, the best of the world. And to some extent that is true, but there are some smaller theaters or some different locations around town where you have people that are early career actors, or let's say people that aren't necessarily the Broadway caliber, but they are they're learning and growing. So it seems like you might have come across some of that segment of the theatrical world. And that's fine, that people grow and they improve, and it's a stepping stone, a launching pad to get up into the higher echelon, into the upper levels of the New York theater world. And I was checking out some of your stuff. For those who don't know, Bruno is a performer, he's a singer, and you came to New York with a production of Richard III, a variation of Richard III, that was written by, I think it's Norman Briski, is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right, and it's a variation that it's English and Spanish, but it's not the whole play. It seems like it's like a segment of the play, and it takes the character and it does some new things with him, right?
So this, I am sorry for all Shakespeare folks, but this is a counter argument to what Shakespeare wrote. I want to make clear that we are not saying that Shakespeare is bad or that no. His prose is you can challenge his prose. He has built our psyche foundations all over the world or the Western world. However, what we counter argue, that is why we say this is an aversion of Richard III, is that Shakespeare used to work for the crown. He worked for the Tudors, who built this propaganda against the York, that was the family of Richard III. So he pictured Richard III as a villain, as a criminal, as a murderer, as what we all know. But those things are not true. For starters, he wasn't hunchback. Not that being hunchback has anything to do, but again, he built this subjectivity, that being hunchback was a quality of a villain, for instance.
Right.
And Richard III only had a slight scoliosis.
Right.
This is maybe not the important thing, but Shakespeare accused him in the play of 4 crimes, and none of them. He was innocent in all of them. He didn't commit none of those 4 crimes. So that is why it's so important. But of course, there is always an attack to governors or politicians or kings or whatever, who maybe are not built for the ornament of the crown, but instead do or promote legislation like Richard III did, or measures even through the church that favor the people or those less empowered.
Well, I think you could even see something parallel to that in contemporary politics. If you look at some of the political things that are going on right now, you'd see the current politicians that come in. One of the things that they'll do is they will, in some way, shape, or form, some more so than others, some in different ways than others, but they'll vilify their predecessor, or vilify the work of the predecessor, and in many ways try to make him seem as a villain to their supporters. So the idea that you're going for here, it's something that's not just limited to Shakespeare's era. It's something that continues to this day. So it's basically and I've seen different variations of what you're talking about. I've seen other programs where Richard is recast as someone who is not the villain, and he is being maligned and vilified. So I absolutely, this is an interesting idea that you guys are working with. And I was watching some clips of the performance you did at Teatro La Tea, which is a great little theater downtown on the Lower East Side. I think it was in December of 2020, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. And sorry to finish this idea. So we are not doing Richard III by Shakespeare, but we are doing RIIIchard by Norman Briski, like we will said at the beginning. And we work in close relation with the Richard III Society in the UK. They do a lot of research for years. I don't know if people know that in 2015, Richard III's corpse or bone were found. There was a big ceremony. For them, it's really important. It's like here, if something happened to Barack Obama, it would be the same.
Right.
So that is why, like you well said, it's we are telling a truer story than that Shakespeare told, without trying to challenge or contend his prose that is unbeatable.
Okay, so that's an exciting project. So you guys did it in December 2020, and that's right in the middle of all the things that were happening with the coronavirus restrictions. So how did you guys get that up on stage at that time?
That I had a really frustrating experience doing a musical via Zoom. I said, no, this is not working. This doesn't work, at least for me. So Teatro La Tea has the installations prepared to do live streaming. So since this is they are not part of the union and all those things, although we did all the COVID tests, we wore the masks. Not while we were doing the scenes, but even in rehearsals and everything. We did it there, and since most of the scenes are monologues, they are not so much dialogues. We didn't even touch, and we were keeping social distancing. So the monologues we chose from the play, that is a longer play. We are just doing the first part. We are going to do a trilogy. Now we are in pre-production of the second part. We're just, like I tell you, monologues. We didn't have to touch each other or anything. And well, we filmed it. So it was a hybrid between theater and film. and it worked really well. We didn't have the audience, but
Right.
it was like in film. The fourth wall was the camera.
It was an empty theater, but you were filming in the theatrical space for a camera.
Correct. And it was really nice to experiment, with the lights, with the shadows, because it's not film. I mean, it's not theater, but it's not film either.
Right. Yeah, so that's exciting, and people can find some that I'll throw up an image of. For some reason, my images are a little bit distorted tonight in terms of their size, but you guys had a really nice image you had there with. Oh, I'm sorry, cancel. Where you recast the image of the king as the playing card. So there, and you have some content on your website or on your social media where people can come and they can see some of the clips of what you've already done at Teatro La Tea and what you did in the past in December 2020 that is available for broadcast. Again, I think it's on Teatro La Tea's website. Is that right?
Latea.org. People can get the access there. They have unlimited. They can do it as many times as they want, and for good, because it's going to be there, uploaded there for good. So yeah, it's there, and also we are using this. We have resumed broadcasting it on the web page because we want to also raise funds to film and to do an even a better quality second part.
Okay. And then you mentioned at some point, I think you have something coming up in the summer stage, and that's in August. What's that one?
What's that? Sorry.
You have some kind of version of your RIIIchard play coming up in the summertime as part of a summer festival.
Oh, the New York the New York Summer Fest. Yeah, we are going to do this first part in the New York Summer Fest. Yeah, live.
And that's going to be live.
So, correct. Yeah. So I hope everything works out so that we can have audience as well.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, we've spoken to a couple of companies over the past couple of months who, even in the middle of the pandemic, were out there in the parks with their masks doing socially distanced Shakespeare. So it'll be very interesting to see once summer 2021 rolls around what that is going to look like. Whether people are going to be comfortable and going to be out there and it's going to be back to some kind of normal, or whether there's still going to be some kind of restrictions and masks and things like that. So either way, I wish you the best of luck. From what I've seen, it's an exciting version of RIIIchard that you guys are putting out there. It's different. It's something new and different, and it reaches a different audience because it's a mix of English and Spanish. But it's certainly something that I encourage people to check out. So if people want to come and find that content, where can they go, Bruno?
Yeah, so they go to teatrolatea.org, and then the New York Summer Fest. They have to go to the New York Summer Fest page also to get, I think, tickets. And it's very important what you said, that is because some people don't know. They think, oh, it's going to be in Spanish, then I cannot watch it, or I cannot see it. It's going to be in English. It happens. So it's worth making clear that it's in Spanish and in English all at the same time.
Right.
It's not subtitle, but we found a way to convey all the ideas in both languages.
That's great. That's exciting. All right. So, and people can check that out at teatrolatea.org, and they also find you on social media at Bruno Giraldi, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think you're the first English-speaking person who pronounces my last name correctly.
Well, I have a lot of experience with people from Argentina, so I'm familiar with the dialect and with some of the pronunciations. All right, Bruno. Well, listen, it's a pleasure speaking with you. Best of luck with your production, and I think it's exciting stuff. It's always exciting when someone takes Shakespeare and does something new and different with it, and takes a new slant at it. So I hope people come and check it out, and you keep us informed about what comes next for you.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. It's very important for me that we have a space where we can promote our work.
Absolutely.
At this time. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do that for you. Thank you very much, Bruno. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was Bruno Giraldi of the new version of their variation of Richard III, written by a well-known writer in the Argentinian circles, and that's Norman Briski. So Bruno's doing his take on the Richard III and their slant, where they kind of rewrite the history of who Richard was and whether he was the evil hunchback of Shakespeare's writing or whether he was a maligned hero. So you can check that all out.